I'll just get started. It's about that time. Thanks for being here. I hope you're enjoying your breakfast. Okay, so today, first of all, my name is Avery and I work at the University of Florida Legal Information Center. I'm a reference librarian there. Today I'm going to talk to you about how to turn legal education into legal educating fun. Yay! Everybody's excited, right? I can see it on your faces. Okay, so I'm going to show you a couple of online tools that I like to use in my classroom to just jumpstart the class just a little bit. And we're going to go back to the basics and just think about the idea of getting your students to just engage in interactive gaming. And when I say gaming, I'm talking about in the form of mostly just friendly quizzes where everybody can do it interactively with their mobile devices and their laptops that they have in the classroom. And when I say friendly, I mean you got to be careful because you don't want it to become too much of a competitive nature when you're having games in the classroom. There's a lot of literature on it being possibly backfiring on you because then it puts a lot of pressure on the students to try to win the game or whatnot. So when you're doing it, you just have to keep in mind that you just want to make it light and friendly. And I would use it to implement it throughout my entire course. I would use it as somewhat of an icebreaker, like the first 5 minutes of your class, maybe for a short homework activity, or maybe like to create a review game for right before the exam, something like that. But I wouldn't use it throughout my entire syllabus. So just a quick show of hands, who in here actually teaches a course or does a lot of class presentations within the classroom? Okay, great, awesome. And do any of you guys ever implement any type of games when you're teaching, or you guys just do straight lecturing all throughout? Anyone do gaming? Yeah, a little bit. Okay, great. All right, so with that in mind, I'm just going to go ahead and get started and talk to you about 5 of the programs that are web-based that I use. And the first one is going to be Kahoot. Has anyone ever heard of Kahoot? Okay, just a few people. Kahoot with an exclamation mark because it's super fun. So if you're an educator or an instructor, to get Kahoot, all you would have to do is go to www.getkahoot.com and you can create a free teacher account on there. And all of the programs that I'm going to be talking to you about are all free programs, and only the instructor will need to create an account. So that means that when you're implementing it inside your classroom, your students won't have to register for anything. All they'll have to do is just go to the web link that you give them, and then they'll prompt them to put in their name and maybe a PIN number or a classroom name, and then they're good to go. And so you're not losing a lot of valuable time making your students register for more things where there's usernames and passwords involved and all that mess where they won't remember their password or something like that. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so once you get there and you create an account, you can get started creating different types of quizzes on there. And then the second URL is the one that you're going to give to your students for them to join in on the game. I'm going to do that in just a little bit so you can see what I'm talking about. So that one is www.kahoot.it. So it's not kahoot.com. So whenever you're giving it to your students, it's going to end in IT. And it's going to prompt them for a PIN number to join the game. So I'm going to open it up and show you what it looks like. If I can get there. Okay. So once you're in Kahoot, oh, you can't see my screen. How about okay, so once you're in getkahoot.com and you register it, it's going to ask you just for your first and last name, affiliation, and email address. It's not a long registration at all. Then you can get started by clicking on New K up at the left corner right there, and these are the ones that I've just created. So when you get in there, they're going to ask you, just simple things like input the question, and it's all multiple choice, so 4 possible answers or 3 or 2, whatever you're comfortable with. And you can upload as many questions as you want. You can make it short. You can have it timed for each question, or you can leave it open. It goes between 30 seconds and 120 seconds for each question, whatever you want to go with. If you want to make it shorter or longer for your students. And then once you create a set of quizzes, like I have a couple of quizzes going on, all I would do is click play, and then I would get all my students to get on their mobile devices and their laptops and join in with me. So I'm sure most of you have classes where electronics are allowed in the class. So the students usually have a laptop, a smartphone, a tablet, or all three with them. So this is a way to just utilize the technology that they already have and just get it to work to your benefit. So this morning I want to start off with just playing a little game with Kahoot. It's just going to be 4 simple questions. So I'm going to ask you to go to www.getkahoot.com, and I'll load that screen in just a minute so you can see it. But this is the instructor end of it. It's going to say ready to join, and it's going to tell you that it's connecting, and then it's going to give you a PIN number that you're going to give to your students. So, as a student, which is what you guys will be right now, you guys are going to go to www.kahoot.it. So this is what you're going to give your students. And you can do this on your smartphone, your tablet, your computer. I believe it should work on Mac and PC, so the compatibility range is pretty wide. So let me know if you have any problems on Macs. I actually haven't tried it on Mac. But, so did everybody get to kahoot.it?
Yep.
And then once you get there, you can enter the PIN number, which would be 46785. And once you do that, it should ask you for a nickname to enter. You don't have to use your real name today. Just go crazy with it. Don't go too crazy. Still gotta keep it appropriate. G-rate it here. And then once you do that, you should see a green screen that says you're in and you're ready to play. And if you know, this is how you know if you're in or not. Your name should be up there, and it's going up. Looks like we've got 30 players going on. Okay, so is everybody up to that point? Everybody's good? Still waiting? All right, we got a lot of people in here. All right. 39, 40. Should we call it? Everybody's good? Oh, we're still waiting on a few people. Does anyone need more time?
I need more time.
Okay, we're gonna wait on her for a bit, and I can tell you more about it. So what I like about Kahoot is actually not only is it multiple choice, but it allows you to upload an image and a video from YouTube along with your multiple choice questions. So here's where you can get creative. You can do screenshots of Westlaw and Lexis if you're trying to make a point, or you can upload a video tutorial of legal research from YouTube onto it, and then you can add the multiple choice question that goes along with the image or the video. So that's something that's unique about Kahoot. One thing that's a little odd about Kahoot is when you see your screen later when you're about to answer the questions, you'll realize that you can only read the question and the answer choices on the projector screen right here, but the screen you have in front of you, it'll just have these symbols and these colors that will represent the possible answer choices. So it sounds a little weird that you can't see the question in front of your face, but you have it here, and then once you get the hang of it, you know, it's not a big deal. All right, everybody ready? We've got 50 players going on. Okay, so it's just 4 simple answers. So as an instructor, whenever everybody is ready, I'm just going to click Start Now. And then you should be able to see the questions appearing up here. And then you should see your answer choices right in front of you. I'll read it to you. Which of the following is not a sponsor of CALIcon15 this year? So you see your answer choices, you choose the one that you want, and then as soon as you do, you should be able to see if it's correct or incorrect in front of you. And it's telling you how many people we're waiting on. I think we got 51. We're all done. Then you move on to the next one. And then you get to see the results immediately. So here's how it was. So 34 of you got it right. Congratulations. The other ones need to visit the sponsor table. All right?
Avery, what is the numbers 24th and 1000 showing at the bottom of my
I'm sorry?
I have two little numbers next to my name on my phone.
Uh-huh.
What do those tell you?
Two little numbers.
Yeah, one is...
Oh, so it should be your ranking.
Uh-huh.
So there's 51 people in here. It should tell you your score right now. It should tell you what position you are in. And I believe that's what you're talking about.
Yep.
Right? So now we got a competition going on, right? I think you guys use nicknames because now we don't need to know who's at the bottom of that list. Okay, so then I will just click next up. Here's the rankings so far. Whoever Crazy Cali is, you're at the top along with probably 34 other people. Okay, so question number 2. It's probably a little slower because we have a lot of people. It's got some music going on. We're all focused. So remember, it is unlawful to let one to your next door neighbor. Real law here. Real law. No cheating. No Googling. So, Joe stepped it up a little. Number 3.
So I knew this law already.
Oh, well, you got an advantage. Oh, no, you don't need to know that much. In Colorado, car dealers may not show cars on a Sunday. Is that true or false? So this is an example of just a true or false question.
I'm counting on it.
Is this music part of Kahoot?
Yes, it is. And you can also turn that off. It gets a little intense with the music. I know. Too much pressure. All right. All right. GR is in the lead, and then we have one last question. This is going to be the hardest question of this whole game, guys.
I know the answer. So obviously you can't change your answer.
I guess not. So that was a trick question because I gave you points for anything that you chose. Is you can make all the options a correct answer, or you can make 2 of them a correct answer, or whatnot. Okay? So that is basically how Kahoot works. And then you have your scoreboard. So there's a downside to a scoreboard, right? Because you don't want the student with the lowest score to be seen on here, because now their peers are going to see it, and that might cause a problem. So you can do it in a number of ways. You can do it in teams. So you can split your students in teams, or you can give them an identifiable number, make them give you a nickname so that they're the only ones who know what their score is. So then it won't present a problem. So they'll know where they are on the rankings, but maybe their students won't know. So that's a way around it. All right.
Will it display the teams on here then?
Well, you create a team, then this one doesn't actually break it up into teams, so you would have to actually just say, hey, you 4 work together on one computer, and that's how it's going to go. And then what's cool about it is you have all the results. So you have the score, you have how many people picked answer A, answer B, answer C. So then if you're using it, you can see which questions are a little harder than others, and maybe you need to review that if not a lot of people are getting, not the majority of people are getting the right answer for a certain question. So I don't know, it's just something easy that you can do. You can take 5 minutes in front of one of your classes and do it, and nobody has to register for anything except the instructor. All right. So, got a little statistics. GR, I don't know who that is, but congratulations on your bragging rights. And then you have this thing where it's a rated quiz, so it's going to ask you, did you learn anything? Would you recommend it? Are you feeling sad because you didn't get everything right? And then you can have an idea of how your students are feeling. So maybe if everybody hates the game, don't use it anymore. But if everybody's enjoying themselves, then great. Looks like everybody's enjoying themselves, so I'm going to congratulate myself for that. Okay, so I'm going to move on. So you can stop now. You can tell me how much you love it later. All right, so Then you can go in and in the back side you can see the results and more. You can download it right here, you can go to Google Play with it, and all these different functions that are available to you. And remember, this is all free, so there's nothing that's off limits to you on this end of it. Okay, so next I'm going to talk about Class Responder. And sad for you because I'm not going to make you actually play this one, but I'll show you what it looks like. Class Responder is a lot like Kahoot, so it's classresponder.com if you want to follow along with me on your devices. And same thing, you would register for a student account. If you're a student, you would log in just as student, and then your instructor would give you the room number name, which is just a unique name that you give your students. My room number is my first and last name, Avery, capital A, capital L, if you want to look and see what it's like. Once you get there, if I had activities ready for you, you would see it in front of your screen. And then I, as an instructor, can go in and make the quiz live, or I can make it non-live. And I'll show you a little bit of what that looks like. So Class Responder, I'm going to admit, is kind of geared towards the elementary school kids. So their pictures and their animations are, I really hate switching between screens here, are a little, you know, elementary school-ish, but it does kind of the same thing. You still can't see my screen. I don't know why it keeps defaulting. I'm sorry about that. But this way,
It might be your presenter mode. Some people have had trouble with that.
yeah, I put it on duplicate, but I guess every time I exit out, it reverts back to it.
Yeah.
So I'll try to press Alt-Tab next time. See if that helps.
What's the room number?
The room number is my first and my last name, which is Avery, A-V-E-R-Y, Lay, L-E, capital A, capital L. And if there was an activity available, I don't know if I released it or not. You guys see any activities? If you don't, I probably didn't release it. But if I released it, it would be there and it would look like this. It's released. And this is what your students would see. You could take it live, so everybody can take it all at the same time. They click on an answer, it'll put a check if it's the correct one. If they click on the wrong answer, then they'll put the check on the correct one still, and so they'll know they got it wrong. So again, just the same thing as Kahoot, maybe not as fun because there's not a lot of music going on in the background and seeing responses right away, but just another option for you to use. And this one also has results and instant feedbacks for your student, and you can collect the analytics and the data that way. Okay. So I didn't make you guys play that one, but if you did play it, you would see the statistics right there of who chose what answer and so on. And you can make a lot of different activities on there. They also have a bank of other activities that other users have made. So if someone else did a legal research one, you can just play that one instead of making your own, whatever you want to do. And so that is Class Responder. Okay, and next we're going to go to Zaption. Has anyone ever heard of Zaption? Just a few one? Okay, so you guys have used it? You guys like it? Not like it? Oh, okay. Got some good feedback. Okay, so Zaption is a little bit more sophisticated if you're looking for something more on the law school level. So what Zaption will do, it's Zaption.com by the way, is it will allow you to upload a video, and then it will allow you to add text, images, and then also quiz questions to it. So it can be multiple choice questions, it can be open-ended questions where the student types in their answer, or it can be questions that have checkboxes to it. And then you can also have a drawing tool where you can draw directly onto the video. So you can circle things on the video, you can underline it, you can draw stick figures, whatever floats your boat. It's kind of like the Microsoft Paint pen thing that you use. So I kind of think that's a cool device to use on just any video that you want. So basically you either upload your own video or you put in a video URL. So at UF we have a Vimeo account where we put all our legal research tutorials on there. So I just put in the video URL to the video without actually uploading it, and you can do that as well. You can also search their database. So their database is connected to all the public servers for videos such as YouTube, Vimeo, and the like. So you can do a search, or you can put in a video URL, or you can just upload it straight from your computer. Whatever works for you. So why would you want to do that? It's so you can add more detailed explanations to a currently existing video. Maybe you have a video from a vendor, but you want to expand it a little bit. So this is a way for you to go in and, without creating a brand new video, just kind of point out what the main points are, or if there's something that you needed to correct because the video is out of date. This is another way to do it. And then thirdly, you want to make sure your students are watching the video. So you can do pop-up questions where they'll pop up at any point of the video that you want. So they'll listen to like 3 minutes of it, a question will pop up, and then they'll have to answer the question to continue on. So that way, you know, they're not just skimming it and they're getting all the important parts in order to finish watching the video. So,
Avery,
yes ma'am.
if you do the pop-up question in it, does it automatically require the answer before they can proceed, or do you
No,
have to
it
do
actually
something?
doesn't. They can actually not even answer the question, but what happens is you get the statistics to it. So let's say, you know, a student named Joe skipped over the question and he didn't want to answer it. I think he can go back actually. I think he can go back, but if he doesn't, just in case he answers 2 out of 4 questions, it'll be there in your results that Joe only answered 2 out of 4 questions. So then you can ask Joe why he didn't answer the other 2. Maybe he just was confused about something and you want to explain it to him. Or maybe he just didn't feel like it. Whatever was going on with Joe that day, you can find out. Yes, sir?
Text and things that you add to the video, are you able to control the pausing of the
Yes.
video? So this
Absolutely.
is
So,
you put in?
yes. So with the options, you can set it to how long you want it to be there. So you can set, like, let's say a text line. I'll show you a text line in a minute that I input it. You can set it to be there for 30 seconds or a minute or just 5 seconds, depending how long it is. And you also have the option to make the video either automatically pause when there's a pop-up, or you can just leave it running. So there can be a pop-up with the video continuously running, and all the options down there with the play and the pause button are still available to the students. So if they want to pause it themselves, they're still able to do it. So, yes sir?
Is all this stuff English only on the student side, or can you change it to language? Or do you
I'm
have
not positive on all of them, as far as I know, but it could be that there could be a language switch to it. I would have to go and check it, but I actually do not know the answer to that. Yes, ma'am?
Quick question, have you tried, I like the idea, I'm anxious to see it, have you tried embedding it into something like Blackboard?
Yeah, actually some of these, I don't remember if Zaption does, but some of these do have, I think Zaption is one of the ones where you can embed it into Canvas or Blackboard or
Yeah.
another e-learning site.
Yeah.
And yes, I do realize that there's quiz tools on those official sites also. This is just kind of a simplified version for, you know, like I said, if you don't want your students to have to register or sign in with a password, this is a way to quickly say, go to this link, do this, and then you're done, right? But yes, I think there are some of these programs that are integrated into it. It might require you having to upgrade to a premium feature, but if you like it, then you can do that, and it can integrate it into those sites. Yes, sir?
Yeah, if you buy the upgraded account, you can even have it integrated directly into the grade center inside of Blackboard or something, so that the score results from the videos and automatically enter inside of that.
Okay, there you go. So I remembered something like that. So you've used it before. So yeah, that would be an upside to it, right? Because then we can have all the grades all together in one place.
What do you think about Twin? Would it work for that too? And a Blackboard and Twin kind of has
Twin might be a little different just because it goes through Westlaw, and because all of these are not legal based, I don't know if they connect well with Twin. I would have to check on that for you. But because these are all very educator based but not specifically to law, I would have to guess that Twin would be one of those outliers that are specific to law schools. Maybe they're working on it. So maybe we have to call them and ask. All right, so let me go ahead and show you what that looks like for those of you who haven't used it. Okay, so what I did here was I took a video tutorial from a Westlaw representative, Derek Morton, he created a tutorial for us about using headnotes on Westlaw. So I didn't create this on my own. He already created it. So I just uploaded it and I added some remarks to it in some places where I thought needed further explanation, or some place I thought the students needed pointing out, and then just a few pop-up questions, and then at the end just how to use the drawing tool just so you can see what that looks like. So I'm going to play it for you so you can see. It might be a little small on the screen.
Hi, this is Derek Morton, your Westlaw Academic Account Manager. Today we're going to continue by discussing the headnotes and key numbers. One easy way to find these is if you were to run a word search, we'll select Florida as our database. We want to know whether a landlord is liable for injuries caused by a tenant's dog. To run that search, if I pull a case, Payne versus Bancroft. This case deals with a tenant's next door neighbor who was bitten by a tenant's dog when it leaped over the fence and attacked a neighbor on property not owned by the landlord.
Places where there's going to be a stop. Okay, so I made a pop-up right there. I just wanted to know if they were listening and they know what the case is about. So that's something easy, right? Say, what is the topic of the case? And if they were listening at all, they should know it. And then they would click submit. And then I'll tell them if they're correct or not. And then there's an optional blank where you can fill in your explanation of why the answer is correct or incorrect. And that's optional. You don't have to do it, but you can. So here I said, that's correct because Derek just says this is a case about a dog leaping over the fence and biting the next door neighbor. Good. So as I was talking about options, this is a place where you could have it set to automatically pause like I did, or you can just leave it running so Derek can keep talking, but the pop-up would be there for the student to answer if they just wanted to keep listening and they didn't want to delay the video and make it longer, right? And then you can kind of skip over to the next one. So they still can essentially skip, but I'll let you know more about what happens when they skip and things like that. But you can
it is not part of the opinion.
To the next
it is what our attorney editors have put in here to make your life easier.
Okay, so another question, this time I asked them an open-ended response one. So he just talked about Westlaw headnotes and how they're written by Westlaw attorney editors. So I said, who writes Westlaw headnotes and should you officially cite to them? So this is a chance where they can just type in their own answer and it will be recorded. And then we're going to jump to the next one, so you don't have to sit here and listen to all of it.
Other points of law that have been similarly categorized in my jurisdiction. And the beauty of this, sometimes whoever,
so this is a text line. So I just inserted this text line.
Didn't necessarily have to be in your jurisdiction. You're able to find another jurisdiction.
I felt like I needed to explain more about how to split head notes up.
But with that header to key number, it's universal across all jurisdictions. So I can change my.
There's still the manual button, so they can pause it if they want to take the time to read it, but you can just let it run. And you can let this pop-up sit for 30 seconds or 15 seconds or 5 seconds, whatever you think is the right amount of time for them to be able to read it and get through it. So that would be an example of a text slide, and you can do that with an image slide also. So you can put an image of another screenshot if you want or something else. It doesn't have to be text.
And here's where I want to start. I don't know where to start. Well, there's a headnote and key number on animals and landlord tenant. So I'm dealing with both of those issues. So this makes it a little bit easy.
And then this is just the drawing tool. So I just circle key numbers here.
I'll show you a third one to find the document.
Okay, so that is essentially Zaption, and another function of Zaption that I really like is the analytics of it. So you see how I could kind of still skip over, so the student can still skip to all the tick marks and answer the questions, but then you have all these stats that are available to you after all the students are done, and it'll tell you how many people viewed the tour, the average time they took on the tour, how many completed all the questions, or if they completed all the questions, and then there's an average score, and there's an average skip score too. So then if the average skip score is really high, you got 34 students, there's 34 skips, probably means none of them really went through all 10 minutes of it, right? They probably just wanted to answer the question and get the heck out of there. But then you can see what the average skip is and what's going on. And then finally you have the rating, kind of like with Kahoot, where the student can be like, I just really hate this part of my assignment, and I don't ever want it again, and then maybe you can decide you don't want it, or you can decide you don't really care what they think. So, one or the other. Yes, Maureen?
I was just wondering, these are averages. Can you also hone in on individual student
Yes. Well, you can download all the responses right here. So that would have all the individual responses.
Okay.
And since they have to sign in and they have to put their name on it, you'll see who had all the individual responses. So yes, you can do that. Okay. And another function that Zaption also has is the cropping tool. So that way, if you don't want the whole 10 minutes of the video, you can actually shorten it to 5 minutes or however long you want it. And that's another just bonus that you have. Because sometimes you just don't need it to be, you know, as long as the vendors provide it or whatnot. Okay. Moving along. Okay, so the next one is Edpuzzle. And Edpuzzle is very similar to Zaption. It is a video enhancement tool. So it's going to allow you to do the same thing as upload a video to it. You can add quiz questions, just like Zaption. But it also has an additional function is you can do voiceovers. So this time, if you have a mic, you can actually do voiceovers. Voiceovers means that you're going to dub it, meaning that it's going to erase the original speaker's voice, and it's going to replace it with your voice. So that's one option. And the other option is audio editing, which is kind of like adding commentary to it. So it'll still have the original speaker speaking, but then it'll pause and you'll jump in and say something about what they said just to add on to it. And some people prefer that more because then, you know, most of the time the videos are already okay, but you just want to add a little more in there to get the point across. And here's some reason why you want to do it. Just because it's fun to do a voiceover. Come on. Okay, so I'll show you an example of how that works. Yes, ma'am?
As far as intellectual property goes, the videos that you make, are they into that search page? So you search for existing videos?
So you can actually make them private or public.
Okay.
So if it's a video that the vendor says, it's totally cool, we put it on YouTube anyways, you can do what you want, you can put it, and it will appear as public, and then anyone can search for it on Edpuzzle or Zaption, or you can set it to private and only send a link to your students. So then it's only a closed circle within your university, whoever gets to see it. So yeah, you gotta be careful to know what videos you're uploading most of the time. If it's something that you made, obviously you have the rights to it, but if it's something that a vendor made or something, if you search for the database and they pull it from YouTube or Vimeo, you're going to assume that it's already public, so they already have a license with all of those places, and that's why they have a database where you can actually type in a search. And this is exactly what I just did with Edpuzzle. So with Edpuzzle, I didn't upload my own video. I actually just did a search for a legal research video.
Could I just ask, on the licensing thing, do they happen to have a Creative Commons license choice as an option to apply to the license?
Kind of. All of these tools are educational tools, right? So the purpose of it is for non-commercial purposes, educational purposes, so they're working under that license. So they're assuming these are educator accounts that you're signing up for. And it usually requires an EDU email address, so they're assuming you're using this for educational purposes. I don't know if the other side knows or if they care.
I think it also counts as derivative work and a remix, so it would probably count under fair use in a lot of cases anyway, because you're creating a new product when you're adding all this to it.
Right, right.
That's true. And then most of the time, if the original speaker's on there, they're identified themselves. And so there's no confusion unless you're dubbing the whole thing,
It's not quite as clear as having assigned a Creative Commons license in the first place, right?
But I don't think they have to worry about it as much given its context
Right.
and the whole functionality.
Right.
Okay, so with Edpuzzle, I didn't create my own video, I didn't upload my own video. I just went to the database and I typed in legal research, and I found these two jokesters here from a YouTube channel. And I guess one of them says he's a current law school student. I don't know how old the video is, so maybe he's graduated already. But I guess he has a YouTube channel, and supposedly someone asked him a question about how to do legal research. And he's here to attempt to tell them what he's learned and how he approaches it. So I thought it was kind of funny to just do some voice editing over what he's saying. And not the best comments, but then you get to see the idea of what you would do with it.
Hey, what's up guys? It's Jamie, and I'm accompanied here with my brother, who happens to just be visiting for this video. So, I had a question from subscriber user Dazzle Effect.
He did say Dazzle Effect.
She wanted to know about legal research, what you do in school, and what's the best ways to find what you need to know. There's so much out there and so much to do that I really can only cut to probably two of the most important ways to research, and then make a little corollary like.
If you want to learn more about legal research, you should always ask a random stranger on YouTube. He's filming from what looks like the basement of his house. Yeah.
First, and this guy's funny. First is that when you do legal research, what I've always found to be the most helpful is to search for relevant statutes. So in other words, if you
that's not a bad idea.
have a legal topic of interest, go ahead, Google search up, and see if you can
do not start with Google.
find the related statutes in the jurisdiction that you're in, the state, or if it's federal or international, whatever. You might even find some law review articles or some other posts when you Google search it. But the point is that when you find related law review statutes and things like that,
his brother playing in the background. That's funny.
You actually are able to take that information and go into license or Wexlaw.
Did anyone else hear him say Wexlaw? W-E-X? That's what I heard.
I prefer Lexus.
So you get the idea.
And when you
so that's a way for you to add audio edits, and it'll pause it every time you say something, or you can just do a complete voiceover and pretend to be Jamie and actually teach legal research. I don't know, whichever one you think is best. So that is a way that Edpuzzle works, and Edpuzzle also has that pop-up question function that Zaption does too. So you can input, multiple choice questions, open-ended questions, and the like, just like you would in Zaption, along with the voiceovers, if that's what you choose to do. And they have analytics also. And I think they have one more. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Okay, so the last one I'm going to tell you about is Socrative. Has anyone used that? All right, Patrick's got it. So Socrative is going to go back to kind of like what Kahoot did, but it's a more refined version of it. And when I was working at Nova, we taught the faculty there how to use it. A lot of the faculty really enjoyed it, so I thought I would bring it back again and tell you a little bit about it. So for Socrative, you're doing, again, an online quiz that's real-time, and you have a student login for them, and then you have a private teacher code that your students are going to type in, and it's going to get them the questions that they need. Yes, sir?
Is there still a limit to the number of students that can respond to Socrative?
Yeah, I think they still are at 30.
Okay.
So we're going to test it out in just a minute. See if all 53 of you can get on. Okay. And if it's not, then there is still a limit.
Okay.
I don't remember if they have an upgraded pay function for Socrative. They might, where you can up the number of players if you pay them that cash that they want.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so with Socrative, I'm going to show you what it looks like on the back end, and then we're going to end the session the way we came in with playing another fun little game. Okay, so this is what it would look like. Oops. Gosh darn it. Okay, this is what it would look like on the back end of it. So you can start a quiz, you can do a quick question like a poll question, you can do a space race, which is what we're about to do. Or you can do an exit ticket, which is where you're surveying for feedback, and it'll say, did you learn anything from this quiz or not? And then your students will tell you. So we're going to do a space race today. And when you go into the space race, they're going to ask you to select a quiz. So you will have already gone into Socrative, put in your questions and your possible answers, and you've already made a quiz. So you're going to select the quiz that you made. And this one, you know how Kahoot was only multiple choice. This one you can do true and false, or you can do open-ended questions as well as multiple choice. So I already created my quiz, and this time I can split everyone into teams. So it's still going to be 53 individual players if they let all 53 go on, but I'm going to do the pre-assigned version, which is the next option, and they're going to split you, I don't know, 53. Let's say we have 8 teams, okay? And they're going to assign you on top of your screen a color, and that is the team that you're on. So you're still answering all the questions individually, but they're just going to take the cumulative of all the questions that you got right as a team to see who wins the race based on the team number. So that way you have a team score, but the student also gets to answer everything themselves, so they're not feeling left out if they're on a team. I don't know why I chose 8, but let's just go with 8. So I'm going to auto-assign teams, or you can do student select teams, so they can figure out what color they want if they student selected. If they just want to be on teams with their friends or something. And then you can decide what you want to do with the space race. I'm going to go with unicorn, because why would you not use unicorns? I want to see a unicorn race. Alright, so now I'm going to ask you to log in. So I'm going to press start, but then I'm going to ask you to go to www.socrative.com. And then once you're in there, you should see an option that says student login. If you're on the mobile version, you might have to expand the menu to see that. And then once you do that, you enter the teacher code, which is randomized 01L84RUU. So just everyone kind of look up if they got to that point and it says you're ready to race. Tell me if it says you can't answer it for some reason. Everybody got the teacher code? Oh, looks like you guys already ran off to the races.
Do you mind to explain that teacher code again for a second? Sorry.
No problem. We don't want to ruin the race anyways. It's a mystery.
Thanks.
So it looks like everybody got in. No one got locked out. So maybe they don't have a max anymore.
It's good to know.
It's good to know, right? Everybody done? Finished? All right. Oh my gosh. We got some smart people in here. So it looks like you all got pretty much everything right. And I'm going to see when I click finish. I'm going to get the reports right here. Well, I'll just view the chart. Let's see. Maybe I have to get the reports. There we go. So then now it has all your names, all of your choices, and I can click on each individual question and see how many students got it right, how many students didn't, and see just the more specifics of it. So if you're trying to create a more serious tone of a quiz to find out where your students are with their progress, this would be one way to do it. So you have all these individualized results that go along with it. And with the team, since it was just only 8 teams, no one had to feel bad because you could only see who won the race at that point. But the professor can go in and see the individual results. Here is what you guys said about the conference so far. Steak, good. Somebody really liked their steaks. Somebody likes me a lot. Oh. I have a question now. All right, so there you go. And then that way, looks like this might be the one that everybody was tripped up on. The answer to that was true. And by true, I mean I got it off Google, so I can't really verify the source of that. But I'm going to assume it's true. It looked legit to me.
Once you got in to do the analytics, I couldn't add any more answers.
Okay, so because I clicked finish, so that's why.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry if I cut you guys off. I cheated you guys out of
I started getting in before you told us to while you were working on the teams, and it wouldn't let me advance to the last few questions.
Yeah.
Oh,
So you have to make sure you don't give people
probably hadn't been
information.
sorted out yet.
It reset me and actually put me on a different team.
Oh, okay. So that's good to know. So I have to make sure that all the students are on a team and everybody's on the same pace, so that nobody jump starts the race and then gets caught in the middle. Good. That's a good point. I did not know that because I never had 53 people doing it all at the same time. And on this wireless. So yeah, that's just a little bit of what Socrative does. You can manage your quizzes, you can do all types of quiz, you can import the quiz. If you already created one and you don't want to type it all in, you can actually import it and it'll create it for you. And so, the best part about all of these programs is that they're free, right?
Hey,
We like free stuff.
About Socrative, is there sort of a breakdown of how various students did that you can either export directly to your LMS or to an Excel spreadsheet?
Yeah, I do believe, because I clicked on the chart and that's what you were seeing, but you can do an Excel spreadsheet and then they'll have all the individual results next to the names that they put in, and so you can see an individualized report that's more detailed than what I showed you on the chart. So the chart is online based, so that's what I was sharing with you. But yeah, you can definitely click and you can download it to an Excel, or I think they have PDF or maybe Word, one of the other options that you can do.
Thank you.
Sure. They're all free, so knock yourselves out. And that's it for me. So if you have any questions after this session, please feel free to contact me. And I'll leave the last 10 minutes for questions right now. But it seems like you guys got most of the questions out of the way already. And that would be me. So I'd be like, I don't know that answer. Which is what I did. Yes, sir.
When you use them, do you have one that you like for in-class quizzes that you don't keep track of, and one that you like when you want to keep track of performance of individual students?
I like Kahoot for something fast, because as you can see, it was all just symbols and shapes. They clicked in, they just put the pin right away. I would give them 1 or 2 questions maybe at the beginning to refresh what we did last week, and that'll start off the class. So that would be one that's really fast, and I can do it. I can create a 1-question Kahoot in maybe 1 minute or 2, right? And I can do it right before class too. It doesn't take a lot of preparation to go in there. Just throw in a question. For a more intense or a more professional, I guess you would say, quiz, I guess I would steer towards Socrative more. But every one of the other ones will work well. Class Responder, like I said, it's more towards an elementary school K through 5 level. So I wouldn't use that as much, but I just thought I'd throw it in there in case you guys wanted some different choices. And there's a couple other ones that I didn't cover today, obviously. If you want to know about them, I just stuck to the 5 right now. But if you want to email me later, I can give you some more options if you want to do a more graded type of quiz, so to speak, and not just like a fun 5-minute thing. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
One of you.
I was actually doing some research recently on classroom response systems for a professor who wanted to use it for grading. She wanted to have each student be able to be identified so that she could, use that for grading. And I couldn't believe how many different polling softwares there are out there now.
Oh, yeah.
And especially the online, that's like a really exploding market.
Yeah, there's a lot of interactive, just 1-second polls where you just ask them a question, and there's no correct answer, right? It's just, what do you want to do today? A, B, C, D, E, and you can do that straight from your phone. And you're right, there's a lot of them out there. There's probably too many.
When I was looking at them, a lot of what it came down to for me was a lot of times it was either the visual design of it, actually, how it looks, and then the other is the grading capability.
Yeah,
And then, of course,
also
the price.
the capabilities of compatibility with all the different types of machines across the way, right? Because everybody has a different tablet and a different brand these days, so it's good to find one that matches everything that your students are using. So that's a good point.
There's quite a bit of variation in price out there, too.
Patrick?
Did you ever find anything that you could embed in the presentation software? Like a PowerPoint or Prezi?
Well, PowerPoint has one where you can embed just the quiz questions. I'm sure you know of that. If you go to PowerPoint live embedding, I think, or a live web, then you can do it through PowerPoint if you want with just the quiz questions. I don't know about if you wanted to just take a whole video. I guess you can take a whole video and embed it. Why not? I don't see why not, because you do have a URL to it. So anything where you can embed a URL, if you've already made the video, I don't see why it wouldn't play. Maybe not with PowerPoint, because PowerPoint's a little weird on that, but if you have other presentation apps that you use that are web-based, I'm willing to bet that it'll open, or at the very least, you just put the URL on there, you click out. It can't be that hard to just click out and click back in. So that's a workaround. But it would be nice to have something that's integrated into whatever you're using. I'm sure PowerPoint's working on it as we speak, right? Other questions? Thank you so much, guys.